Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 19 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 9 Path of Radiance. In today's episode I have much to do about the outfit before I can move on. Now I have already finished all of the actual item management of said units, including giving Ike and Seraph robe. I have not yet decided what I necessarily want to do with these other stat boosters. I potentially will sell the secret books because there's not too much value in them, but I haven't decided quite yet. I know pretty well who my team is going to be for this game. I haven't 100% decided on them, but in the case of that, some of them, particularly one I can think of, really needs secret books. So I might be saving that for him. Otherwise, let us go on to the info. Commander, how are you? Staring at the sea, I see. I know you. You're George, right? You make weapons for us. No, George buys used ware. I'm his twin brother. Well, mostly his twin. He has blonde hair, you see. My name is Daniel. Just remember that I have brown hair and that George has blonde, and you'll be fine. Brown hair Daniel, and weapons. Blonde hair George, and items. I think I'll remember that. Fantastic. Say, can I ask you a quick question? You're a battle expert, right? You've fought a lot? Enough, yeah. What is it? Picture this. Let's say there are two ships, and suppose there are planks connecting the ships at 3 different points. Alright, I'm picturing it. Now then, soldiers from one ship are about to attack the other ship. Imagine that the defending side has fewer soldiers. If they want to mount a solid defense, what should they do? It seems clear enough to me. Position the soldiers with the best defense on the planks, soldiers like cavaliers and knights. I see. So you would hold the enemy at bay by using your strongest allies to block the primary crossing points? Then, you'd want to have your long-range attackers line up behind the tougher units, barring the ridges. I'm talking about anybody with javelins, axes, or magic. You'd be able to do a lot of damage without much risk. Sounds like a good plan, but it seems rough on the soldiers defending the bridges. You would want to heal them often, obviously, but maybe there's a way to reduce how much damage they take? It's a stretch, but what if I don't have them attack at all? That way, they won't run the risk of getting any counterattacks. That's not a bad idea. Great, thanks. That gave me some good ideas. Ideas? For what? Oh, my brother and I have been playing a war game. I've lost 4 times in a row. A war game? We'll let you join if you bring some parchment and a quill. Come see us anytime if you're curious. See you later. Maybe I shouldn't have been so serious with him. Hilarious that Daniel and George are basically playing Dungeons and Dragons inside Fire Emblem. Well, if it isn't our commander, what brings you down here? I was just on my way to the deck. Oh, I see. That's too bad. I had a story I wanted to share with you. A story? Mm-hmm. And quite a ripping yarn it is, too. Interested? Well, not really. Oh, you're so rude. And after you were so sweet the other day. What are you talking about? When those crows attacked him, I had wanted to see what they looked like, so I was hiding on the deck, watching. I had heard they could fly, of course, but I had no idea they could fight. I thought one of them had the drop on you, and I couldn't help myself. I cried out, "Commander, watch out!" I thought I'd heard a strange shrieking sound. That was you? And upon hearing my sweet voice, Commander, you turned around and brought down that crow with one shot. Wow, man, she really was watching the fight, wasn't she? It was awe-inspiring. Not really. He was exhausted from the battle. He could barely move. Was that one of the ones I KO'd with an iron sword? And that's when you first caught my eye, my dynamic young commander. Is that why your hand always lingers on mine when you hand me my equipment? Oh no, have I been too obvious? Maybe I should send one of the others down to pick up our gear from now on. You're embarrassed, aren't you? You're so cute when you're being coy. But Once I set my sights on a man, I never let him get away. Remember that. She's kind of crazy, but I would dare say that Ike is a little bit rude about these things. We're talking about a romanticized medieval Europe, not 2023 in the middle of a corporation. Hey, what do you want? Is there any reason you're still on our ship? The crows are gone. The truce is over, isn't it? I have a duty. As a Daean soldier, I cannot allow a Crimean princess and her band of mercenaries to run free where they will. If you want to start a fight, you're on the right path. Think you can take us all on your own? Because if you want to get your friends, I won't stop you from leaving the ship. Watching you all fight those crows like a band of street rats with sticks, I could see you were no match for me. But even if I were to leave this ship, the land is too far away for me to reach. I think Rolf might be able to KO you. Nonsense. I can see land in the distance from time to time, and I thought you could go anywhere on that wyvern of yours. No wyvern could fly that far without resting, and these islands are thick with half-beast scum. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't leave this ship. Then let me ask you, why did you follow us alone knowing that? I wanted to be recognized. I wanted my deeds to earn me fame. A soldier has little else to strive for. And yet you soldiers sneer at mercenaries. At least we fight for something real. There are some dumb soldiers in this world. There's also some dumb mercenaries. We were fighting some of them in Chapter 11. You leave us no choice. I'll take you as far as Begnion. But as long as you're on my ship, you will not utter the phrase half-beast. If you can't agree to this condition, I'll kick you off the ship right now. All right. I'm just saying, there has to be something more we can do. Boyd, you're not making any sense. I understand your enthusiasm to help Ike, but try to explain what you mean. We can't do anything until we know exactly what it is you want to do. You're so impatient, Oscar. I was just getting to it, alright? Impatient? You're calling me impatient? You're so impatient you can barely be bothered to put your armor on. Nag, nag, nag. Listen, I think we should come up with an unstoppable killer attack, something only we can do. An unstoppable attack? That sounds good. Doesn't it? I'm glad you approve, Pee-wee. Don't call me Pee-wee. It's a fine plan, but you haven't explained what this new attack is supposed to be. How do we do it? Hey, I came up with the idea. It's your job to figure out the details. Make it cool, though, Oscar. Boyd, this plan sounds... Oh dear. How do I put it? Let me do it. I'll think up a good one. No way, forget that. It's too much for your little pee-wee brain. I told you, don't call me that. They may not like to admit it, but they certainly are close. Ike's observation of that conversation I always found was unnecessary, but I do like that conversation as a whole because it is alluding to the fact that Oscar, Boyd, and Rolf can perform a triangle attack. Now, there are two groups of characters in this game that can perform triangle attacks, one of which is a group of Pegasus Knights. I would love to do a playthrough one of these times where I use nothing but the triangle attackers on both sides. The only problem is that they're not actually that useful. It's just situationally useful. It's fun. I'm not saying it's not good. There are times when it's actually very good. I'm specifically for Rolf, Boyd, and Oscar's group, I'm thinking of Chapter 19. That's a really good opportunity to be using their triangle attack. However, it's funny how the whole conversation goes, because there is only one common denominator of an attack weapon between the three, and that is a bow. The thing is that you have to promote Oscar. Now, Boyd gets bows upon promotion. Rolf has bows. He cannot get any other weapon, so the common denominator has to be bows. It just makes total sense. Oscar gets the choice of a secondary weapon, as all paladins do upon promotion. So you have to make the hard decision to use bows, because axes are the best weapons in this game. Now, whenever I use Oscar, I always give him bows, because why not have the option to do the triangle attack? Because Rolf doesn't need to be promoted. And Boyd, though he needs to be promoted, you can literally promote him at level 10 and just stick him with a bow. And then you can get the full effect of the triangle attack with just Oscar if you wanted. Which sounds like, why not use all three? And I do. There are many times where I use all three. I don't prefer Rolf over the archer I'm going to be using later. And part of the reason why is because I just find the other archers' niche more interesting. Especially considering that archers are very terrible in this game. There is almost no instance in this entire game where a bow is the preferred weapon, right? So I can now speak to Titania for their B rank support. Do you have a moment, Titania? Ike, how can I help you? Remember what we talked about the other day? About when you met my father? Yeah, that. I know you don't want to talk about it, so I won't force you or anything. It's not like I don't want to, it's just hard to talk about my past. Still. You deserve to know as much about your father as possible. Alright, I'll tell you. Great. When I was a Crimean Knight, I entered an officer exchange program and was sent to Gallia, where your father was. On my first day, they held a joint training session in the Royal Hall. That's where I saw Commander Grail's might for the first time. He took on a wave after wave of knights and defeated them like they were children. His swordsmanship was brilliant. The other knights barely had time to lift their weapons before Commander Grail had them on the ground. He was the mightiest warrior I had ever seen. My body trembled at the thought of it. Whoa. I tried to cross swords with him, but he was so far out of my league. It was laughable. But I asked him to train me, and he agreed. After that, whenever we had a spare hour, we would meet and spar. We soon grew close, and after a few weeks he invited me to his home. That's when I saw you. Me? Yes. You were sleeping in your mother's arms, and she was smiling. You were adorable. The commander looked at you with such kind eyes. I saw a different person than the man who wielded a sword. I see. And that's the B rank support. And of course, there is one support here that must be gone through. Doing the laundry mist? Here, let me give you a hand. Oh, no. Please, you've been fighting all day. I couldn't make you help. We've had our hands full around here, and you're no exception. Now give me some of those. Wow, talk about a pile of laundry. Yeah, I'm actually washing everyone else's stuff while I'm at it. I thought it would be a good way to thank the others for all their help. Well, it's a thoughtful gesture, but make sure you don't turn it into a full-time job, all right? Oh, this one is ripped. Oh, that's my brother's. He's been fighting too long in these old things. Look at it. It's practically falling apart. Next time we're in town, I'm going to make him buy a new shirt. If he's going to be commander, he'd better look the part. Speaking of which, let me see that old thing you're wearing. The sleeve is coming apart, see? Hey, you're right. This is beyond repair. Your brother's not the only one who could benefit from a shopping trip. We'll go together, you and I. I don't know, Titania. There's so much work to be done around here, and I'm not sure I've got the time, really. Man, we could use some of this attitude in the modern day, couldn't we? I'm telling you, Mist, you're pushing yourself too hard. Everyone appreciates your work, but you're leaving no time to relax. Yeah, but doing the chores helps me relax. What? Don't look at me that way. Miss, that's nonsense. I mean it. You need to take some time off. Sometime soon. You and I will go into town, just the two of us. Oh, all right. Cutesy little conversations. I wouldn't mind giving Miss the Mordecai support. She might actually end up getting it too, just when I have Mordecai around. But it's not likely that that's going to go necessarily anywhere, especially because, I mean, hilariously, there is nobody besides Ike, Mist, and Titania in my entire team right now who is going to be on my final selection of the team. Manage. Yeah, so I have 1,600 experience points to give away. And believe me, nobody needs it. So it's kind of interesting. I have no skills to give, and I already went over the whole secret book thing and what I can do with my other stat boosters. Ike is actually looking a whole lot better than I thought he would, and strangely, this is probably my Ike with the most resistance I've ever had, given that I'm not bonus experience points abusing, because there was a time where I did bonus experience points abuse and also used all my stat boosters on him in a playthrough, and he ended up getting max in every stat. Literally every stat, even 40 in luck. And that Ike was literally untouchable. I soloed the game with him. That's the reason why I did it. The moment I got to, what was it, chapter 10, I beat the rest of the game with just Ike. And it was a lot of fun. It was tedious at times, but it was a lot of fun. And it showed me how broken bonus experience points can be. That's why I don't particularly use it to buff up like singular units. Now granted, I did that with Mist. I am well aware of this and understand this. She is far and away better than probably most Mists at this level would be, especially because she early promoted 3 levels sooner. But the reality is I need more pre-promotes. Since she's not a pre-promote, I made her one, because that's one of my caveats for this playthrough. Because I need more good attackers, plus she is a really good healer. One thing I am considering doing is taking a heal staff of one kind on Mordecai and Leith, because they don't need weapons, so they can kind of act as convoys. This is one thing that is really good about the Legus in both Tellius games. They can act like storage units. I know that sounds hilariously ridiculous to say about like an actual character, but it's kind of true. They can act as storage units, especially because in the Tellius games you do not have access to your convoy mid-map, unlike most of the other games before it, which is kind of intriguing. Alright, leave base. I think there's someone here claiming to be an envoy from the Theocracy of Begnion. She's been asking if the Princess of Crimea is aboard. What do you want to do? A Begnion envoy? How did she know about the ship? Perhaps she had word from King Gallia. On the other hand, this is Begnion we're speaking of. I imagine it has spies in every corner of the continent. Perhaps one of those spies is the source of her information. So we shouldn't be surprised that she knows about Princess Alencia, right? No, but it's extremely unusual for Begnion to send an envoy to meet a princess whom they do not even acknowledge. What do you mean? It is a complicated matter. You see, the envoy is essentially an extension of the Empress herself. Both Crimea and Dain were once part of Begnion. Both nations have only recently splintered from the Theocracy. Recently is kind of a stretch. It's like a couple hundred years ago in this storyline. I think like 200 years ago for Crimea and like 250 for Dain, something like that. So that's kind of weird. I mean, kind of really weird. I can't fathom why the Empress would extend the courtesy of an envoy to a nation she must consider somewhat beneath her. She must be planning something. Beneath her? That is somewhat harsh, don't you think? Harsh, perhaps, but it's true. Clothing it in sweet words will not hide its bitterness, will it? Soren, I would even question the tactfulness of your words. I will try to be more diplomatic. Ike, Nazir, you've no need to scold Soren. His words are just that. They do me no harm. I'm glad to hear that, Princess, but he should mind his manners. Deciding how we ought to treat with the Princess Envoy is a more pressing issue. Princess, will you meet her and hear her message? I believe I must. We gain nothing by refusing to see her. Let us meet with the envoy. Princess Alencia of Crimea, I presume? Yes. It is an honor to meet you. My name is Tanith. I am Deputy Commanding Officer of Begnion's Holy Guard. I must ask, what would Begnion want of me that she would send her Holy Guard to greet me? The Apostle has learned of you, Princess Alencia, and she has come here to meet with you personally. The duty falls upon me to take you to her now. The Apostle? Am I to meet? Surely the Apostle has better things to do than... Will you accompany me? I suppose that We are the Princess's escorts, and we will be coming with her, I hope you understand. Of course. Then yes, I will go with you, thank you. Bad news, ma'am. We've sighted Legus near the Apostle's position. Birdmen, crows, most likely. Huh. We've seen their kind before. They fancy themselves pirates without a ship, but they are thieves, plain and simple. Commander Sigron is with the Apostle, and it will take more than a few winged scavengers to get past her. Let's remain calm. I'm afraid we aren't quite sure where the Apostle is. What? They've kidnapped the Apostle? No. From what the commander said, the Apostle grew impatient and had another of her more willful moments. I asked at the docks, and sure enough, one of the longshoremen heard her order the ship to set sail without us. What? Where are her attendants? What was she doing without her guard? Why couldn't she never just stay put? I've told her time and time again that the seaports are rampant with pirates and crow thugs. Right. Where is she now? The wind is port today, so we think her ship should not be far from us. I came here as quickly as I could. Understood. We'll move immediately. Excuse me, but is something wrong? Your Highness, I must apologize, but an urgent matter has arisen, and I must attend to it immediately. I will return for you later. Await my return.
What was that all about?
Judging from her expression, I'd say something has happened to the person she's meant to be protecting. Say, do you think that ship over there is involved? The envoy is flying in that direction.
If so, then the Pegasus Knights' fears have already been realized. They're under attack. It's the ravens they spoke of, isn't it?
Ike, why don't we go lend them a hand?
Are you feeling all right, Soren? It's not like you to offer to help anyone.
It's a great opportunity to put the Empress in our debt. We'd be fools to pass that up, wouldn't we?
I should have known you'd have an angle, but it's a good one, Ike. It's a good one. And we'll see why soon.
What do you want to do, Titania? I don't approve of Soren's motivations, but I agree that we should help.
Well then, that's what we'll do. Will you be alright on your own, Princess?
You're doing the right thing. I would not dream of stopping you. I know those pirates are no match for your strength. Give them a sound thrashing.
Huh? You're starting to sound like one of us, aren't you? Alright then, we better go. I don't think any of the Grail mercenaries have ever said sound thrashing before. Coastal Begnion.
No matter how many we defeat, there are more waiting to attack. And not just those ravens of killers either, there are Bjork too. What do they all want here?
Need a little help?
Aren't you Princess Crimea's escort?
Yes, the princess ordered us to come to your aid. May we join the fray?
That would be appreciated. We'll keep the ravens at bay. In the interim, why don't you go ahead and move onto that ship? The big vessel is ours. I'm not sure who the small one belongs to. There are human soldiers aboard, but if they're in this part of the sea, they must be pirates. Cut them down.
Right, we'll take care of them. Where on the earth is the Holy Guard? Between those crows and the pirates, we're outnumbered. It's only a matter of time before we're overwhelmed.
I will fight too.
You? You're one of the passengers from House Damiel, aren't you? I can't permit someone of your stature to throw herself into harm's way.
I was once a knight of Begnion, albeit for only a short while. I won't get in your way.
No, I can't.
We must defend the Apostle, right? We do not have the luxury of choosing how to do so. Come, we must get ready. The enemy is coming.
You are right. We need every able-bodied fighter. Accept my apologies, and thank you for your help. Lady Astrid, allow me to serve as your shield.
Gatry, I'm so sorry that I've gotten you involved in this, too.
Oh, please. This is nothing. I'm fine. Before I was hired as your bodyguard, I was a top-notch mercenary. I can handle this many opponents all by myself. This is nothing.
Is that so? Your confidence is impressive, to say the least.
Well, trust me. My confidence is backed with my blade. I'm ready to fight. Oh no! There are more of them! We're doomed! Don't panic. We must protect the Apostle no matter what. Listen up, pirate scum. You may outnumber us, but we will not yield an inch. Wait, don't get confused. We're here to help you. We're your reinforcements. The Deputy Commander of the Holy Guard asked us to help drive the enemy from this ship. Oh, Commander Tanith sent you? We're saved. The Apostle has taken refuge in the cabin below decks. Until the Holy Guard arrives, we need you to defend the entrance to the ship's cabins. Got it. Weapons ready, everyone. Nice. So, of course, I'm going to bring Mordecai and Leave. Volk, for sure.
Soth wouldn't be a bad idea here. Definitely not bringing Rise. I would like the extra healing, but he is an extreme liability. Void, Soren, no thank you. One thing I could do is give Jill a ranged weapon. If I even have one. Yes, I do. Alright. For the most part, this looks pretty fine. I think, let's see, one shove here. And then Mordecai can move right behind him and smite him, so he'll be here. And then Ike has how many movement? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can talk to Astrid this turn, which will allow me to talk to Gatry. You always have to plan this thing out. You can stay in the back, because you're not combative. In fact, we're going to put you here. And I think that looks perfect. And I can begin. Leave is going to be mighty useful in this chapter, because I need all the help I can get, especially because she's transformed already, has great movement. I'm going to be able to just basically throw her at anybody. Alright. Hand axe, perfect. Now, and give you a beautiful ward. Weapon level up, nice. She's got B rank and staves, perfect. Smite. Ike can now reach Astrid.
Are you alright?
Who are you?
My name's Ike. I'm with the Grail Mercenaries. I came to defend this ship and the Apostle, if I can.
Is that so? I am Astrid, of House Damiel.
A blue blood, huh? Well, unless you're good with a sword, you'd better hide yourself in a cabin.
I'll do no such thing. I once trained with the Knights and Cavaliers. I may be of noble birth, but I know something of battle. I can fight.
Well, if you can fight, we can use you. Let's work together. You going to be all right with that?
More so than I would be with hiding below decks, certainly.
Perfect. So wait right there and demonstrate my newfound unit, Astrid. She is a Bow Knight, and an interesting one. So her bases are terrible. Her level is terrible, especially for this part of the game. But she has pretty good growth. 45% HP, 40% strength, 20% magic. Totally useless. 55% skill, 50% speed, 40% luck, 30% defense, and 25% resistance. Now, there's a couple of things that salvage Astrid, even though she's incredibly low level and has incredibly poor bases, as well as being locked to the worst weapon type of this game, and that is because she has Canto. Canto allows her to shoot and run, which is perfect. Something that she desperately needs is to run. Now she's getting +2 defense and +2 resistance, and the reason why that is because the Night Ward is equipped. A magic item that, when equipped, raises defenses, for use by soldiers, knights, and paladins only. So, only cavaliers and knights, armor knights and generals, soldiers and halberdiers can use this. Now this thing has a hidden bonus to it. It boosts speed growth by 30%. This is pretty darn awesome. I actually don't know if Mist can use it. She doesn't really need it, per se. The only thing that she would really be benefited by is the immediate defense and resistance it gives. Because
I have a feeling she's going to end up capping her speed. Now, that doesn't mean she's not apt to being able to use it, but still, it's either way. I don't really like Astrid. Even though she has a D rank in bows, which is not that great, it's not that far off of C rank, which is pretty well the best bow rank you need in this game. Of course, there are bows that are above that, so on and so forth. Doesn't matter. Now, she has Paragon, which doubles the experience points gains, or this unit gains. This is awesome. This is what salvages her. So the combination of her being able to attack at range and run away, coming with the Night Ward, which gives her 30% extra speed growth, and Paragon, which doubles her experience points growth, she can become a really strong unit. But by and large, I don't find myself ever using her. And the reason really is because she is way too behind. She's one of those units that you would immediately look at and say, you know what, I'm going to bonus experience points this unit up and get her to fighting condition. I don't think a combative unit should be like the main focus behind bonus experience points. And the reason why I say that is because somebody like Mist, if you're going to use somebody like Mist, she needs it, because otherwise you're going to go 10 or so chapters before she can promote. And by that time, she's not going to have any useful weapons. She's not going to have any useful staves or items, or her stats aren't going to be worth a dime. Whereas somebody like this can attack at range and not really have the need to bonus experience points. But the problem is again, she's just such a low level. She's an interesting unit. Not bad, but not great either. I would dare say that she's probably one of the best base game archers in the game. Like, granted, you can make any paladin that is not pre-promoted have the use of bows. So, any one of them can become a better archer than someone like Rolf. But, she starts out with it. So I would consider her amongst the base game archer-like units. And she's probably the best. I'm going to go ahead and talk to Gatry. Yeah, I'll trade you the Night Ward.
Gatry?
Lady Astrid, are you all right?
What do you mean? I'm fine. Why shouldn't I be?
I saw you talking to that rough, blue-haired lad earlier. What did he say to you? Was he rude? Did he try to tell you to run for safety while he fought for your honor?
Words to that effect, yes.
Oh, what a fool. I tell you, he'll never learn. You already have an unbeatable bodyguard. Me. I'll have to remind him of that later.
You know that Ike person?
He is the son of a man under whom I had the honor of serving. He's not a bad person by any means, but he has no manners whatsoever.
I see. Well, he seemed more concerned than rude. When I told him I would prefer to fight, he seemed to understand.
Oh, of course. I see it now. How silly of me. Not rude, you say? I should have known my presence would have changed the boy for the better. I'm the ideal role model.
I don't know about that. I didn't mean to wait with her right there, but oh well. Gatry is going to wait on the square for the rest of this chapter, and in doing so, be a very great defender. I almost... I can rescue with Jill, but that wouldn't actually do much. Let's take and drop. One of the main reasons why I brought them. Tell me, Walker, is this episode going to end? Well, yes, it is. In fact, I want to thank you for joining me as I have to bid my farewells today on this very fine episode. If you like my content, please vote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.